I don't know. My husband got sick, and so we were kind of isolated, and we were losing friends. Some of them were dying, and or moving away, and we never made an effort to go out and get acquainted and make more friends. So I'm working on that, because I don't want to be totally isolated. It's fun to visit with people and to see what they're thinking and to learn from them. And if you keep that the fun in learning, if you keep that going, I mean, that's why I go to the library to look up things on the internet and to get books, because I'm continually learning stuff, and that's how I learned a lot about this energy stuff. And on you have the Rife technology, right, Wil?
No, I don't use anything but my body is the machine, if you will. I look at it from a little different view. I use the technologies, but for sustainable health, there's some other issues that that fit into the scheme of things the way I operate. So no, I don't use any machinery really.
Okay, well, we're still talking about energy.
You can take a look at it
Yeah.
anytime today.
Absolutely, we're talking
Yes,
about
sir,
energy.
I'm home today.
So,
Okay, come on by.
I realized I did something yesterday. I got a road map out. I got maps of the states out, and I went state by state, and I sent a lot of love to all of the U.S. representatives and senators. Now, when I send love to somebody or an organization, and I do it for long enough, I get a strengthening in my midsection, in my solar plexus. Now, love is a very high energy.
Well, that's exactly just to excuse me for interrupting you, Ann, but the definition of love is your level of vibrational energy.
Yeah, that's what it stands for. Yeah. But like I said, I get strengthened in my solar plexus, midsection, when I do that. And then it wasn't too long after that they announced they'd come to an agreement. So I know that the high energy of love and joy, peace, acceptance, and courage, those are the high energies. Those are the energies you want to operate in. And those are the energies. The others, fear, anger, grief, apathy, lust, pride, those things, if you suppress them, we learn to suppress our emotions after about age 5 or 6 when we start school. And all those energies just simply want to leave. Because emotion is energy in motion. And they just want to leave. You know how when you're a little kid, you see little kids playing, and all of a sudden they have a spat and they're fighting, and then a few moments later they're back laughing and playing together. They know how to let go of those negative energies, or any energies. But they learn, I think, in the schools, in our system, to suppress them. Oh, boys don't cry, stuff like that. Right. And then when you're the real you, that is full of love and unconditional love and joy and happiness, gets covered up in these suppressed emotions, suppressed energies, negative energies. Those are things that affect our physical system, our mental and physical health, and spiritual, as far as that goes. If you can let go of all your unloving feelings and thoughts and beliefs, you can be free, and you'll be healed, and you'll have an abundance of love and joy and everything you need or want.
How about that, Wil? The mental state, your vibrational energy, certainly does have an effect on your health.
I believe that solely, and one of the downside to that belief is most of our belief was instilled in us before the age of 3, and then we suffer the rest of our lives from that programming that we had as a child. And actually, but they say now it started in your grandmother's womb up until the age of 3, but we spend most of our adult life really suffering from those programs and negative emotions that happen before the age of 3 that impact our health for most of our life until we actually get down into the root of and as they deal with those, let go of those, become aware of those programs.
Now, what kind of treatment are you recommending for Morgellans? I mean, if you've got it on your skin anyway, if it shows up under this light, you know,
Like
it may not be making you sick right now there, but it could grow. And does the alkalinity of your body have any effect on this? You know, the more alkaline, if your alkaline level is up about a 7, and you can test it with your urine in the morning. If that, some of the people at the conference were saying that if you keep your pH level, and that was kind of the secret behind the Miracle 2 neutralizer that I sold for so many years.
Right. Well, the pH does come into play with that. What I'm doing is like the plant out in the field, if you will. We'll just go to some simple analogy here because it is, to me, that simple. We're like that plant out in the field. If that plant is healthy, it gives off a vibration that keeps the pests and pathogens and the diseases away. But if the plant is diminished, it almost draws certain things into them, and this is what we're finding with the bees. And I associate that, equate that to the human being, because we're in such a diseased state. It's like we're attracting a lot of this stuff in. So I look at how do we change our frequency? And because the body is the lowest frequency, the most densest part of us, it's the easiest to change, in my opinion. So we know that our bodies are mineral deficient. We know that the food is deficient of minerals. We know that we have microorganism deficiency in our environment. We know that our digestion is compromised. We're breathing in the heavy metals and nano dust and all this other garbage. We know there's genetically modified food around. We know there's fungal load everywhere. Molds that are slime mold. I had a talk with a gal last night for an hour about the slime mold that she's finding in Minnesota in her friends and herself. We know our environment's dirty. We know our bodies are deficient. So that's really putting these missing ingredients, if you will, back into us, in our internal environment, fortifies us, and then we change our vibrational frequency, and the disease just leaves. So basically we have one program to help people with over 2,500 symptoms. That's how we've distilled it down to help people. Morgellans is no different than a fungal candida overload, no different than diabetes, no different than cancer, no different than IBS or Crohn's. You give the body what it needs and what it's missing, the body will do its job itself on its own, and then we just adjust our beliefs and get those vibrations next in line, raise our belief, change our belief, raise your vibrational into that love state instead of the fear state, and disease just goes away. That's the path that we're on. It's not that difficult. It just requires a little change in your belief. A little change in your belief, a change in how you look at things, because a healthy plant will not be infested with bugs. A sick plant in nature gives off frequencies to attract the bugs and the funguses and whatnot, to break itself down back into nature for food for another organism. And we're no different than that plant. When we're diseased and sick, nature, we give off a vibration to nature, and we attract disease to break us down into food for another organism. So that's my simplistic view, if you will.
Are you recommending any kind of medical protocol? I don't think the pharmaceutical companies are putting out anything that's beneficial for you, really, are they?
not in my opinion, and I don't use the word medical. I'm not trained in any medical anything. I'm totally natural, alternative, complementary, whatever you want to call that. But yes, we have protocol that we use first and foremost above anything else, because the food chain is so diminished and our bodies are a result of that. We use minerals. I do recommend products that are only sold through a company that only has these microorganisms. There's several different mineral combinations on the market. I recommend the one that we sell to our clients and customers because it's mineral dense. It's been structured. It's natural. In my opinion, it is the best out there, and so we start, at least if you don't get anything else I'm saying, is the mineral density of our body is important. We're an electrical magnetic generator, like you just went to the conference talking about electricity, and Ann was talking about that. We give off energies, we create energies, and without the mineral density to our being, we do not have the capacity to handle all these vibrations. That's why I don't believe in the machinery, like the rice machine and whatnot. I go one step past that, in my opinion. You use the machine, you got to come back and use it again because the frequencies diminish so fast. So, in my mind, I call that symptom relief. But if you put the minerals, there's several other components, but mainly the minerals back into the body, the frequencies then are able to stay. Just like copper in our house wires can handle 60 hertz very well and fairly efficiently, we have minerals inside of us to handle a broad spectrum of frequencies. So we require a broad spectrum of minerals, different frequencies themselves. So that's why we start with the minerals, and we look at the amino acids, and then we look at the microorganisms, because actually these microorganisms from the soil actually create electricity inside of us through their digestion of the food that we eat. So there's this symbiotic relationship. There's a relationship with nature and other elements in our nature that benefit us, and without them, it's a detriment to us.
Let's see, Dr. D-Charge on here says the electrical current put off by number 12 wire wrapped 7 times for plants to keep all the bugs away. Yeah, we can keep. I used to, in my garden in Bingham, I'd go out and spray it with Miracle 2, and all the bugs would jump off, run away.
Right. Well, you're changing the frequencies. You're either putting something into an environment that will repel them, or you're changing the frequency of the plant.
Well, that's interesting. These bracelets that I've got now for $30, and folks, you want one? Make a $30 donation. I'll know what it's for, or you can get the.
Those bracelets really do work. We've got one. What did we pay? We paid $90 for ours.
Well, the retail on these are $40. So.
Oh.
But we had a show special on for $30, so I'll let them go for $30. And the pain patches, there's all these. This $30 thing has got, you get 18 for $30. 18 of the pain patches, and we ask everybody, do you have any pains? Do you have any pain anywhere? Would you like for us to take it away for you? So we demonstrated a few times. We had a little hard time finding anybody with pains. I offered Chris. I asked him if he wanted me to go out and hurt somebody, but he declined. But
you volunteered, huh?
I volunteered, yeah. I was pretty tired of Colleen and her antics. I don't know. Maybe she just drove off with somebody to go meet, the Palladian ship that was they were going to send down here to get her. I don't know. I hope they didn't. I hope they didn't pick her up because she needs to come back and get her cat and her car and her excessive baggage.
Oh wow! Your life is never dull, is it, Clay?
No, it's
I remember the black helicopters over the house down in Bingham, and a few of the other exciting events that we've had. So
yeah, you remember how I stopped the black helicopters?
Yeah, I still think about that.
I hit them with a 1,000,000 candle power spotlight. Scared the shit out of me, man. I thought they were gonna. They leaned over so far to the side, taking evasive maneuvers, that I thought they were gonna clip our phone wires.
I know. I thought they were going to hit our camper. They came so close.
And did they?
Oh wow.
Yeah, the whole Bingham thing. I mean, we would have had a Liberty Village here if it hadn't been for another insane woman. I don't know. Maybe I just attract insane women. You think, Ann? I mean, you still talk to me. You sound pretty sane. But you haven't seen.
I don't think they're so insane. They just can't. You're just too much for them.
Well, Colleen got all pissed off at me. She said I was a bully. I'm a bully. I said I don't like bullies, man. I'm not a bully. You know, I can't help being 6'4", and I'm not yelling. This is my voice. All right.
Well, if we're all electrical magnetic generators, you might want to consider, what you do draw in as an example on what to shift. So,
But Clay, you're scaring people. Don't yell.
I've heard you yell. Believe me, you're not yelling.
It was kind of fun hanging out with all 5 or 6 of those cops last night, and they didn't think I was yelling either. Man, they let me off of a ticket. We're just going to give you a warning about that speeding, Mr. Douglas, but you got to show up in court next September, because it's a criminal it's a criminal offense to drive a car without registration. So.
Did you enlighten them about being a non-corporate individual, a human being? That we're not American citizens are not required to have those tabs on our cars. Really?
No, I didn't get into that. And the cat's name is Gurr. So. Did you? Somebody, I think it was Uncle, sent me a story about Evergreen Air. Now we got the Evergreen Air base down here. This is where they're fueling the chemtrail planes and altering the chemtrail planes. And somebody blew up one of their bases up in Washington. So
I think it was Oregon, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. I believe you're right. Oregon. Yes.
I read that article. Someone sent it to me.
Yeah,
one of our researchers lives in Oregon, and he noticed that he didn't live too far away, so he sent me that article. And,
yeah, that might have been you that sent it to me. I don't know. It's what have you come up with any links? And what are they? The only thing I've known that they've been putting into chemtrails besides these micro, I guess what we're talking about is nanotechnology here, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one component, is the nanotechnology, the smart dust. I just got word that there was some air samples done in Oregon that they're pulling actually this synthetic bacteria, Cynthia, out of the air. It's the same bacteria that they've put in the Gulf of Mexico, and that they've in air samples, for instance, around Joplin, Missouri. It's in the Midwest now in the air. So these synthetic bacteria are showing up all over the place now. not only the heavy metals, the nano dust, the smart dust, whatever you want to call them, but the synthetic, semi-synthetic biological agents. Slime mold, we found blue slime mold, pretty blue slime mold over here on Long Island in January, growing, multiplying under the snow on a lady's deck. And that's a similar slime mold that in Minnesota. I just got a call last night from a gal that has it in her body, actually oozing out of this wound on her spine, the size bigger than a silver dollar. It just keeps weeping and it multiplies itself in the body. It's a slime mold.
And what is this slime mold again? What is it?
Well, it's a, I'm going to call it a semi-synthetic microorganism. It's a mold, but it's growing in the wintertime when it's 0 out. It's growing inside of people's bodies, consuming elements out of the body, but yet existing as its own organism, if you will, with bigger than a 50-cent piece or a silver dollar. You know, it's totally unnatural. It's, I mean, some people are even calling it off-planet DNA. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different theories, but, you know, my point is, we've been able to kill it so far with what we're doing with natural things in saturation. So I'm just telling the good news.
Yeah, yes. There is another thing that would very likely kill it, and that is colloidal silver. It takes care of some 657 or 8 bacteria, germs, viruses, and microorganisms.
The test that
fungi.
we did on that, the colloidal silver did not work. Chlorine dioxide did.
Oh, good.
And our microorganisms have, our probiotic products have.
So colloidal silver didn't work?
No, it did not work on some of these synthetic biologicals, correct.
Okay.
Wow.
And I'm going to let you go. Thank you, dear, for being with me.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, dear.
All right, bye.
And let's see here. Okay. We'll give out your connection, and then I got to do a commercial. I got to tell people how they can get my books. You know, all my books were selling very well. Everybody's interested in Mystery Babylon, and we've got the fiction books in stock. We got Mystery Babylon in both the small print and this is the big print edition. Big print's more money. Small print's $30 plus shipping, and the big one's $40 plus shipping. And we got One Bloody Alabaster Eye. It's the first in my fiction series. That and I've been told by John D. McDonald's lawyers that I write like John D. McDonald. And Deadly Flashes of Silver is the second one in that series. The third one will be White Gold, and that's in the process. But folks, all you got to do is go to freeamerican.com and get that. And the links are on there for Body Electrician. And all you got to do is do it, folks. And Will, thank you for being with me. I'll have you back. And
all right, thanks again, Clay. Always good to be back.
I appreciate your support. I appreciate everything that you've done here. So,
all right, thank you. Talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. Let me do this, and we're out of here. $30. $30 for the bracelets. Well, I'll give them to you for 30. They're normally 40. They'll be 40 in the stores, and so send me $30. We'll get your bracelet out immediately. God bless.
Call recording has been completed.
Okay. Did that. The bracelets block the radiation put out by cell phones and all around you, I guess. They've got holograms. You can, if you hold a cell phone up to your chest, hold your arm out stiff, have somebody push on it. Then put a cell phone in your chest and have somebody put one finger on your arm. They can push it down with one arm if you got the cell phone on your chest. Do that. Try that, and you'll see. That's the way I'll be demonstrating it to all the buyers for the health food stores. Okay. Jim Power says, I put a bowl of water on my porch last week, heavy chemtrail spraying. In 2 days, white globs of oil were floating in it. Yeah, the soil's already, I mean, what we've had 20 years of spraying on the soil. They and Monsanto is building aluminum resistant seeds. Pretty interesting. Okay, I'm Dutchman, what are you talking about? All right, let's do some music.